Hey everyone, it's GamerMile21 here. I am attempting my first ever voiceover for a YouTube video. I really have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna roll with it. I'm planning on starting off with a get ready with me as I get into my Laito Sakamaki cosplay from Diabolik Lovers. But I do apologize in advance because I accidentally left part of my stand in the shot when I was recording. I didn't realize it. I tried cropping it and it just wasn't working, so whatever. Let's go, let's just see what happens. So anyway, I usually start off every cosplay with a clean face, and I clean my contacts because I use it before and after. I use the 3M contact cleaner from Uniqso, and today I'm using the Akaten green from Uniqso. They're from the brand Sweety. I absolutely love them. They're super soft, super nice. So I get those cleaned, and then I usually cut my hair, which I don't need to cover it since these are my actual my Laito cosplay. I just put it back in a headband. I make sure I keep the peaks okay. But I will warn you, I put contacts in very weird. So they're usually what I put in next. I make sure my face is clean, my hands are clean, all that fun stuff I usually have to do. And I put them in my accurate way. I mean, I know people like just pop them in right away. I cannot. I have to like do what I'm doing here. It's yeah. So I get them in, enjoy the lovely burn, and then I move on to primer. I'm using Hard Candy's color correcting primer. I just apply it all over my face and rub it in or blend it in with a damp sponge. Either way, whatever works at the time. And I just try to get some of that redness down that you see in my face because it's quite obnoxious at times. Not my favorites, but it works. So after I get that all blended in, I move on to some foundation. I'm using my WetnWild PhotoFocus foundation. It oddly smells like acrylic paint. I'm not sure if it's good or bad, but whatever, it works. I blend that out with a damp sponge as well. Just try to get like a nice beginning base going on my face since I have way too many flaws that I can't even count. But after that, I move on to a little bit of concealer. I'm using Wet n Wild's Megaglo concealer. I apply that to my major areas that have a lot of red to them, like my under eyes, my cheeks, my nose, especially my nose, a lot of my nose. And then I use the E.L.F. HD Lifting Concealer for any other place that I might have missed that just need a little extra concealment, I guess. It helps out in the long run to try to cover some of the flaws. And I look kind of funny in the process. But after that, I use my E.L.F. Finishing Foundation, Flawless Finish, or whatever it is. I don't really remember half the time these brands. They just work. So I apply my other layer of foundation all over my face and then blend everything all together. Try to get nice and smooth. Try to make sure my face matches my neck. Making sure nothing's too off, too weird. And make weird faces in the process. I usually put like a little bit of foundation over my lips as well because it kind of helps, I guess, make it more masculine in the end since I'm cosplaying a guy. I don't like putting a lot on because I don't like that cakiness that they can get, like where you see them on the cracks. But I do my best to try to just blend it all out, make it look smooth. Hopefully it looks smooth. And just go from there. Like, I'm not sure if anyone else has a problem, but like whenever I put in contacts, I always for some reason yawn, and it's kind of annoying. But I'm not sure if I had something in the contact this time. I probably did because of all that foundation and stuff. So I probably had something in that contact, and that's what was bugging me. But I always yawn for some reason, no matter what, right after putting contacts. I don't know if it's just me or if other people do it. Whatever. And then anyway, I go on to the powders next. I'm using a E.L.F. blotting powder, which it kind of just helps soak up the extra oils that are in the foundation and on my face. My face is really, really oily, so the little extra blotting powder, it does kind of help. Anyway, then I move on to my HD transparent setting powder from E.L.F. I just put it all over any other extra areas that have any wetness or dampness to them or whatever, just to kind of help let it set, give it a little extra matte. I move on to the lovely contour. I'm using a Wet n Wild contour palette, and I usually put it on any areas that I want to exaggerate to make it look more masculine, such as my cheekbones. And I put it right in the center of my chin, try to give myself a more defined chin, the cupid's bow, the nose, up by the temples. I also try to define the nose more to make it stand out a bit, as well as the eye sockets. And of course the jawline. Just try to make any of my existing features look more masculine. And of course we can't forget their eyebrows. And whatever that weird face is to make your lips look a little better. I don't know the proper terminology for that. But in the end I blend it all together. Try not to swallow too much contour in the process, because, you know, that's just very yummy. Do my best to try to blend it all out, make it look smooth, make it look even. Hopefully not make it too dark in some areas or patchy in some areas. I just try to define any area that looks like it needs it to be more masculine. I usually go on with a little bit of a sponge to try to lighten a few areas up to make them blend a little nicer for me. I mean, I don't want them dark, but I don't want them like over dark at the same time. And then I move on to the eyebrows. I first start them off with the NYX or NYX Control Freak Eyebrow Gel in clear. What that kind of does, it helps me shape them how I want, keeps them so they're sticking together more, so similar to what glue will do, because I don't shave or pluck or wax or anything with my eyebrows. These are how my eyebrows were from the very beginning. But yeah. Anyway, move on to my next part, or move on to my favorite part, I should say, the part that I'm obsessed with, which is highlighter. I literally go crazy with highlighter. If you've ever seen one of my lives or even just cosplaying me in person, I am obsessed with highlighter. I don't know why, but I'm using the WetnWild. I think it's Rose, the shade is. Either way, I am just obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with anything that just makes me glow. So it's just so fun. Yeah, I apply it almost like literally everywhere. Brings out the eyes a little bit more, the nose, the cupid's bow, cheekbones. I see a little in the corner of the eye. Anywhere I see that just needs to glow. And after that, his iconic mole that he has. I'm using the E.L.F. Brow Gel. It's like the darkest shade I could find. I can't even really read the color of it because the color's that dark. I think it's like espresso or something, I want to say. I don't know. Anyway, it's a really, really dark brown for the eyebrows. And it just goes on 1, 2, 3. I usually use like something small, poke it on, and call it good. And now for the eyebrows, after the gel has dried, I just pick whatever shade I want to use, which is the shade that's closest to my hair, and I just take an eyebrow brush and brush on the eyeshadow. And I don't do anything too fancy. Never really glue them down because I just can't see gluing my eyebrows down. I'm too finicky on that. So the brow gel works really well. And then I just fill them in and call it good. And it seems to work. As long as I can make them even. That's probably like my biggest, issue with eyebrows is trying to make sure they're exactly even. Because even without any makeup, both my eyebrows are very different. Which kind of annoys me and it makes me want to pluck them. But at the same time, I'm not going to because I've seen so many people who start plucking them and they grow back thicker. Mine are at a nice consistency and I don't want to change that. So I'm just going to try to roll with this and hopefully the gel helps out. I think it didn't too bad. Then after that, I use my WetnWild waterproof eyeliner and I just go all along the bottom waterline. Now, I know some people who cosplay, they do these dramatic anime eyes, and I personally couldn't see myself ever doing that. I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong. I've seen tons of people who look really good with it, but for myself, I can't really see the dramatic anime eyes on me. So I prefer the more natural look, I guess, more like a real life look in a way. So all I do is just try to make my eyes a little bit bigger, I guess. Well, not really bigger, just kind of make them stand out more. So I'll smudge a little bit in the corners to just kind of pop the corners out a little. And that's basically all I do. I don't do too much to them because I feel my eyes are kind of bold enough as is. And just a little bit of eyeliner just kind of makes them pop. And I don't want to ever take the time doing those exquisite anime eyes I see all the time. But anyway, I have my E.L.F. waterproof mascara. I don't go crazy with it. I just cover my eyelashes, make them a little bit darker. I don't feel they need a lot, but at least a little something. Then they stand out, and again, it helps bring my eyes up more, so I feel I don't need to do much else on them. So it makes them pop for me as is. Right, and that's it for makeup. All it's left to do is set it. I have numerous setting sprays I use. I love setting sprays, but today I'm using the WetnWild 3-in-1 primer, I believe. It's in like a cucumber scent. It smells like cucumbers. Doesn't taste like cucumbers. I don't recommend accidentally getting it in your mouth or opening your eyes when it's drying on your face, because if it seeps in there, oh my word, does it hurt. That's why I'm just like flailing like crazy, making sure it's nice and dry, so I don't want to burn my eyes. But after I set it, I usually take the damp end of the sponge and just kind of like pat it down just to make sure no makeup is lifting up, making sure everything's setting where it's supposed to be. As that contact still bugged my eye. Then voila, and I just brush my hair out, making sure I give a little extra care to my peaks there. Kind of brings this hair forth a little bit more. But that is it. That's all I do for the makeup. And then getting dressed is a simple white button-down shirt, black slacks. I have my binder on. I got the shirt, pants, and tie from Walmart. They're just very simple black standard black tie. I just keep nice and loose around the neck for him. It's nothing too fancy at least, but it really does the job, I feel. It saves making it when some stores are kind of like that, I guess. But I did make this by myself. It was his hoodie or his hooded vest. I don't exactly know what it was, but I made it as a vest so I didn't die in the heat. But let me try a nice big fluffy hood because fluffy hoods are amazing as is. And then the jacket was one I had for a while. I redone the liner on it and the patches because they weren't really accurate. So with a new liner, new patches, all that fun stuff. I think on this part I still needed to sew part of it down, but I was testing out, making sure the liner's where it should be. It worked. I can show you guys at least what I do for them. And that's all there is to it for that. I like too fancy. Now it has belts. With some of the other boys I've cosplayed, they have a very standard black belt, but since he really doesn't have his buckled or even buckled tight, I like to find this one that has a decorative end on it. It's the little things, I guess. It just makes it kind of stand out a little bit more. Because I don't do it tight, so you can at least see the design the belt has on it. But then his shoes, I've had a couple pair for him. These newest ones I got right there, they're just simple white flats I got that I painted black, threw a red stripe on them, and called it good. They worked really well, really nice and affordable. As for the fangs, they're just some simple ones I found online with this moldable plastic. I can't remember the name offhand of what it exactly is, but I will leave all that information down below to be able to see that. They just simply suction cup onto my teeth, so I don't need to use any glue. His hat was one I found years ago at the good old Walmart. It was a simple black fedora that I painted up and drew on and put a ribbon on to make it look like his. It worked pretty well with him. And that's pretty much it. That's how I get into my Laito cosplay. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Hopefully y'all enjoy seeing many TikToks and much more content with him, much more photos. He is quite a lot of fun to cosplay. But thank y'all for watching. Hope to see you guys soon. Bye!